there's a number of other factors that drives the headless hype, and I just want to quickly mention a bunch of these. One is mobile apps. We've had them before. Some of our customers, they have even gone so far to say that my desktop website has the second priority. So it's even beyond mobile first. They say we don't care so much about the user experience in the browser. What is important for us is that the apps works just beautifully. Like I said earlier, an headless approach works great with kind of this mobile application first approach. Progressive web apps, that is a topic that we're going to hear more of later. That is the second biggest driver of this hype. In my eyes, it's even more important than the first one. Progressive web apps, they kind of bridge the world between web or mobile web and the app experience. It's kind of best of both worlds. It has benefits for the end users, but also has a lot of benefits for organizations who want to tap into the power of PWAs. They can save a lot of work, reduce redundancy in their code bases, and so on, and create great user experience, PWA based. And we're going to hear more about that later, like I just said. Third one, that is more technical aspects. There's a lot of ready-to-use frameworks. You might have heard some of the buzzwords that are around, like React, Vue, or Angular. All of those are kind of libraries for programmers, shortcuts to create user experience, and many of these are just optimized for Headless CMS, and that can be a tremendous driver for a short time to market and agility. But agility, that is the killer argument. That is what I see as the focus of why Headless is so great. It is really supercharging agility, and I want to show you on one slide why I think that makes such a big difference. We've seen customer-facing front ends before. They can span from the web experience up to, let's say, packaging inserts. So that's kind of an analog artifact that you can also power from a digital experience platform or from a CMS. But what you also see, what is not so visible though, are the mission-critical backend systems. So that is where your business users work. And like I said earlier, it's typically more than one. And we, as a CMS vendor, we would love the idea of being the center of the universe. You know, everything is content and everything circles around content. But in reality, that is not how our customers operate. For them, content management is one subsystem of many. There's the shop engine, there can be the CDP, there's the product database, there can be legacy application, homegrown applications. All of those systems are equally important, and all of them need to be available, to be up and running in order to create the best experiences at the front end. So what the headless architecture now does is it puts kind of an abstraction layer between the back end and the front end. So instead of having to integrate everything with everything, there is kind of a handbook for APIs that can be leveraged from all of these backend applications. And the people designing the user experiences at the touch points, they can virtually look at that handbook and tap into the power of those APIs to create great user experiences. And that decouples creating user experiences from the backends and vice versa. So you could, for example, run a user test on the web shop, or you could update the product database, or you could create a team that has a new idea in packaging that needs content. And you can try those ideas in short iterations, in short sprints, without having to wait for a huge monolithic application being pushed through a major relaunch. So in the old world, some of our customers would only launch their front end, would only update their front end 3 or 4 times a year, because there was so much effort into developing and testing and then kind of lifting the whole monolithic block up from one major version to the next. But today, everyone wants to step away of that. People rather want to have hundreds or thousands of updates a year, and you can only reach that through decoupling backend systems and front-end touch points. That gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of when you update what, in terms of how fast you can update user experiences. And that is what I think really drives the headless hype from kind of an organizational and management perspective.